Same penalty for being 6 minutes late as for being 3 hours late? Okay boss, by user computer poop. I have always been the kind of person to arrive at work/events early. I hate the stress of running late, so I always allow more than enough travel time on my commute to avoid lateness. I always stopped for a coffee first thing on my morning commute to work. It was a half-hour drive to work on the highway, so I liked to sip my coffee and listen to tunes to relax before work. Even though it's only a half-hour commute, I would leave for work an hour before my start time just in case there were any unexpected delays. One particular day there's a massive jam on the highway. Now normally I get to work 20 to 30 minutes early because of the extra travel time. But this traffic jam was bad enough that it still made 6 minutes late for work. Supervisor starts giving me shit for coming in late but having a coffee, publicly calling me out in front of the other employees. Hey everyone, look at Icy. His morning coffee is more important to him than respecting his co-workers. No amount of I bought the coffee before I knew there was a traffic jam would get him to stop hassling me. He wrote me up for being late. Now, my company had a policy that less than 5 minutes late is okay, but 5+ minutes late means a potential write-up. Doesn't matter if it's 5 minutes and 30 seconds or 2 hours late, the punishment was the same. However, supervisors were given leeway on this and were encouraged not to penalize people unless they were consistently late. I was almost never late, almost always early, but my supervisor decided to punish me anyway. So fast forward a couple of weeks, another delay, and looks like I'm going to arrive at work about 15 minutes late. So, knowing that I'm going to get written up no matter what, I pulled off the highway, found a nice little restaurant, and had a leisurely 2-hour breakfast. Showed up at work 2.5 hours late, and got the same write-up I would have done if I had been 15 minutes late, but at least I also go to relax and eat bacon. I still showed up at work early 99% of the time, but every now and then there might be a delay that would mean I'd be 6 minutes late, or 10 or 15. Rather than take the penalty for a lousy couple of minutes, each time I'd extend the late time a couple of hours and have a nice, relaxing breakfast. Boss said no working from home, so I came in sick as requested, by user syntaxpital. Last week I woke up feeling awful fever, cough, the whole thing. I messaged my boss to ask if I could work from home so I wouldn't get anyone sick. He replied, no exceptions. If you're well enough to work, you're well enough to be here. So I dragged myself in, coughing and sniffling the whole time. The look on his face when I walked through the door was priceless. By the end of the day, he told me to go home and said I could work remotely after all. Funny how that works. Hire her, no matter what. As you wish, by user Velvet's Glimmer. I am part of a small hiring team at my workplace and I take my position very seriously. Some time ago we were looking to fill a key role that required someone sharp, organized, and ready to work under pressure. We had a solid shortlist after several interviews and then my department supervisor pulled me aside. He told me, flat out, to hire one candidate in particular. Not because she was the best fit but because he wanted me to. I later heard through office rumors that she was an almost girlfriend, basically someone he had a thing for and was trying to impress. He said I should but just make it work and he will take the heat if needed. I refused at first, showing him her results of the interview. She was one of the least ranked. She was late to the interview, vague answers, couldn't explain basic industry terms. But he wouldn't listen and said it was a direct order. So, I did exactly what he asked, I hired her. Gave her all the support I could. Even offered extra onboarding help. Within a month, she accidentally sent a confidential client file to the wrong company. Then she once approved a purchase order for 10x the budgeted amount because she obviously didn't read through all those numbers. It was from one wrong to another. We lost a major client over the email slip. Another pulled back on their contract due to delays on her end. When upper management started asking questions, my manager tried to dodge responsibility. But HR already had the hiring records. I made sure all instructions including his were documented, which was intentionally in case a situation like this came up, and it did. He was reassigned within the quarter. She quietly disappeared not long after. Turns out, hiring your crush isn't as cute when the company starts bleeding money. Was told I required a doctor's note after taking sick time, by user MonkeyWrenchOccident. I had a manager who decided we needed a doctor's note after a sick day. His reasoning was the note confirmed we were well enough to be in the office. Meanwhile we all knew it was just to give sick staff a hard time. When he pulled this on me, I agreed and started packing up and told him I would contact my doctor and let him know when my doctor could see me. Then I started walking out. He asked me why I was leaving. I told him since I didn't have a note, and I needed one to prove I was not sick and could work as per his instructions, I needed to leave. I followed up with the fact that my doctor was in a different town, and it could be up to 2 weeks for me to get an appointment. All of which true. He told me I seemed fine and not to worry about the note. He stopped asking others as well. It was your idea, boss. So you explain it, by user Lady Shadow Fox. A couple years ago, I was asked to create an internal competition for employees. I designed the whole thing, the format, the communication strategy, how entries would be judged, everything. It ran nationally, was a hit, and the winning entry even went on to win an external national award. Fast forward to the next year and my boss is asked to give a presentation at the awards ceremony about the competition. Naturally, since I built it, I put together his entire presentation, the slides, his speaking notes, even rehearsed it with him. Turns out, some other companies that were at the presentation wanted to learn how we did it. My boss sets up a few meetings with their reps, invites me along, and says, "I'll do most of the talking, but I'd like you to listen in." I'm thinking, great. What a cool opportunity, and it's nice of him to include me. Then the meeting starts. He opens with, "So this was my idea from the start," and proceeds to go on, and on, for around 15 minutes about his vision and how he supposedly led the strategy from day one. He went so far as to say that I was invited to learn some more about the strategy, since, let's call me Sarah, was part of the team who set up on the day. I was stunned. I kept my face neutral and nodded along. Then came the questions. Simple ones, too: logistics, structure, what tech we used, how we got employee buy-in. He fumbles. Repeats himself. Starts sweating. And then starts turning to me with, "Actually, Sarah can probably elaborate on that." That's when the malicious compliance kicked in. With my best poker face and a sweet smile, I replied, "Oh, I'm not too sure on that one. Your strategic vision was really integral here, I wouldn't want to misrepresent it." He tried again later with another question. "That's a great point, but again, this was your brainchild. I was only part of the set-up team." He floundered through the rest of the meeting. The reps were polite but clearly unimpressed. Afterward, he was quiet for the rest of the day. Next time, maybe don't claim sole credit for someone else's work. Especially when you can't communicate its strategy or the work behind its implementation.